Don't have time for the full video? No problem. Check out the clip channel, Cold Beer Condensed.
Guys, Mike Hatred stole a dildo. Just so you know. It's still in charge on his record. He stole a dildo.
He stole a dildo? What?
Guys, Mike Hatred stole a dildo. Just so you know. It's the only charge on his record. He stole a dildo. It ain't a flash.
Wait a second. I have a dildo story. So... So when I first went out on the road, I don't know how this happened. I used to do a lot of drugs. I used to drink a lot. I used to get pretty wild out on the road. Okay, I was making a shit ton of money. Send as much of it as I could home, and then fucking eat the rest of it in pills. I didn't drink as much, but combining those with a bunch of drugs, I was pretty fucked up a lot of the time. So one night I was all fucked up with some guys that I worked with. There was 3 of us in the car. I was in the back seat and kind of in the middle. And then there was a driver. And then there's there was a guy that was sitting in the front passenger seat. And we were at this bar, and we left this bar, and we went to we didn't leave the bar. We went to the parking lot and got in the car. And the guy that was in the passenger seat went around the backside of the bar and was like taking a piss. And I don't know what happened next because he was gone for like 10 minutes. He was gone for like 10 minutes. And the next thing I know, he comes running. He's like still pulling his pants up from like taking a, or not pulling them up, like buttoning his pants from like taking a piss, zipping them up. And when he's like running around the corner, this fucking dildo, you could hear a woman yell. And this goddamn dildo that was about this fucking, I shit you not, it was like this fucking, like it was like a novelty dildo, okay? It was probably almost 2 foot long, and it was probably like that big around. The son of a bitch had to weigh like 30 pounds. Like, I don't think anybody's putting this up inside them at all. I think that it was just like a joke or some shit, right? It's a big ass fucking dildo. Huge dildo. Big old ball sack at the bottom of it, like chopped in half so it would set up. And in this bar, I guess I should have told this first. In this bar, they had this, like the seat at the corner was like called like the dildo den or some shit. And when people would like get too rowdy or whatever, they'd put them in timeout over here. And there was like a bunch of like dildos stuck on the wall, and a bunch of people drew dicks and shit. So like it was a local bar, and when people got too rowdy, they'd make them like sit over there in that corner with all the dildos, look at all the dicks. So I'm guessing that's where this one come from, but I didn't see this one there because I would have noticed it. I mean, it's like a goddamn floor lamp. That son of a bitch was huge, and it's probably like that big around. It's huge. And like it had a ball sack and everything, and the ball sack was like cut in half so it would set up. And it would like kind of hold itself. It wasn't solid, but it was latex or whatever, but it would kind of hold itself. Like it was a leaner. Anyways, when she threw, whoever this woman was, threw that dildo, it come flying and hit and bounced and hit the guy that was fucking running away from the dildo, like in the back of the legs. Damn near took him out. Like this sumbitch was heavy. She couldn't have been far away to throw it like that. Like she had to be just like around the corner. She threw it at him or whatever. And he got back in the car, and we heard her go back in around the building, the door shut. And the dildo was still laying there. And the guy's name was John. So the driver was like, John. The driver's like, John, go get that fucking dildo. And he's like, well, fuck you. And he's like, no, go get it. He's like, I ain't fucking touching that thing. And he's like, come on, ain't nobody fuck that dildo. Look how big it is. It's funny. Go get it. We'll do something with it. And John's like, no, I ain't fucking. He's like, here's a goddamn rag. He pulled out a rag. He's like, here, go pick it up. They don't fucking, nobody done it with a dildo. So they go get it, and it's clean. It looks brand new. It looks like it was a prop or something, or maybe used to set over there in the corner, or was in the back, or it was a goddamn door stop for, the world's heaviest door. The son bitch is standing there. So he goes and gets it and sets back in it with it, and it's sitting across his lap. So anyways, we're talking about this dildo, and it's sitting across John's lap, and we're all laughing like hell. We're all fucked up, probably fucking DUIing and whatever else. But anyways, we're all fucked up and laughing, talking about this dildo, and I took a picture of it. And he's like, I don't want to get it off of me. So then what we decided to do, the first suggestion was we should drive down the road and hit mailboxes with it. we should drive down the road and try to hit mailboxes with it like it was a bat. But honestly, when you held it up, it would, the ball sack end, you couldn't hold the balls, they were too big, but the ball sack end was like, it would droop, it'd like flop over. You couldn't even get a good swing on it. Like when you swung it, it would all bend backwards and you weren't swinging any, you basically have to hit it with your hands to hit the mailbox with a dildo. So instead, we just started fucking off with it. And we were like fucking like picking it up, like shaking it at people and shit. We were driving around. We'd get at like a red light with somebody and like we'd make eye contact with them and they'd look at us. And then this always happens at a red light. Like if you pull up to a red light and somebody looks over at you and they catch you looking at them, they look away, but they always look again. So that second time they look, Billy, the guy that was driving the car, would go, ah! And he'd like have it and like shake it out the window at them and they'd fucking take off. We were menacingly threatening people with a dildo for like 3 hours. Fucking most fun I've ever had in that town. We were fucking shaking it at people and screaming. And John was hanging out the car at one point and he had it wrapped up in a rag and he was holding it like a fucking baby. We were trying to get people on the sidewalk to look at it and shit. He was like rocking it back and forth like he was putting it to sleep and it was a big old fucking 2-foot cock. Anyways, we had a ton of fun with the thing. We put it up on the hood for a while and tried driving around with it. It's so goddamn heavy. It stayed up there pretty good. We'd wait till like other people in the car weren't looking and we'd set it right beside their face where they turn around and they just get like a face full of dick. We had a ton of fun with it. So like 3 hours later, we haven't even thought about the dildo, okay? Like it's behind the driver's seat and like kind of pushed up towards it won't fit under the seat. It's too goddamn tall, like big around tall. It won't slide under the seat, but it's over there and it's got like a jacket or something on top of it. It's like 2 fucking hours later and we're driving around. We're actually going back to where we were staying, a house we were in, an Airbnb. And we were going back to where we were and we were all like out of it and kind of I'm nodding out. They're barely fucking staying awake. Got the radio turned up and the air conditioner on full blast, cold as fuck, just trying to stay awake. And the next thing I know is I'm like almost out of it. Like I'm fucking nodding, dude, hard. And fucking blue lights come on. And I thought, oh, fuck. I'm holding all kinds of shit. I got pills everywhere. I've done cross state lines. Like with this shit, I'm drunk. I holding a bunch of fucking weed and a bunch of mushrooms and all kinds of shit. And I'm like, oh, this is it. I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail, and I have no idea why. Nobody was even thinking about the giant fucking cock in the back seat, okay? Everybody else was thinking, oh, God, I got drugs on me. I got fucking weed and shrooms. I got a pipe. I got a little fucking one-hitter. How much shit can I fit in my asshole? How much shit can I... Everybody's adding up shit. Like, how we get rid of this shit? Anyways, so Bill, the guy, he's an older guy. He pulls over. The cop gets behind us at a red light. And we're going through the red light. It was green. And we go through the red light and we pass this little grocery store with a bunch of people coming in and out. Little like shopping center. And then past that shopping center is like an empty parking lot. And Billy pulls up over there. And he pulls in this little parking lot just barely off the road. But he's up against the sidewalk on his driver's side. And the other side is just an empty parking lot. So the cop, there's a state trooper. State trooper pulls up. This is in Mississippi. State trooper pulls up beside us, not behind us, literally beside us, where his driver's side window is like towards our passenger side window and probably like, I don't know, 8 foot between the cars. And the cop, I remember this as clear as day because I'm looking at the cop and he's looking back at the passenger, John. He's looking at him and the cop just goes, and he gets out and puts on his hat and gets his shit, gets his fucking flashlight and his notebook, all the shit out of his car, and he puts it in his pockets or whatever. He stands up and gets all his shit and puts his hat on. He comes over, And he doesn't go to the driver's side. He comes to the passenger side. And when he does, nobody's windows worked but the driver's controls. Like their child lock is broke or something to make it work their windows. And fucking Bill, he rolls down my window instead of the driver's side window. And my window's coming down. And I'm like, oh shit. Like I'm like flipping the switch. I'm like, put it back up, put it back up. What's like in my mind, I'm freaking out because now I think the cop's coming after me. But he rolls down my window by accident, but he realizes it and leaves mine like halfway down. And then he rolls down John's window. And the cop comes in and he leans real in on the car and he's like looking in at us and he doesn't say nothing at first. He's looking back and forth. He looks in the floorboard like up front and he looks in basically everybody's lap and he said, all right, boys, where is it? And John goes, where's what? And he said, don't you play like a dumb motherfucker with me. I got a call. He said, I got 3 calls about this exact car and some goddamn monster horsecock and people. And some goddamn monster horsecock and idiots running around terrorizing people with it. And, and Bill goes, you mean that big fake dick? And by that time, I had already gotten it. I was like, fuck it, we're busted. I was already getting down to get it. And I had gotten it. And he's not looking at me like, but the reason he can't see me, I slid over into the passenger seat, but I wasn't in the middle anymore. The reason he can't see me is because like John's head and the headrest and the chair and shit, he was leaned down in the car. So I had already gotten it and I was going to give it to him. Fuck. I thought, he asked for it. So I start like pushing it out my window in the back seat. I start pushing it out my window. Like the window's still down about this far. He rolled it down about halfway. I start pushing it out my fucking window, holding it by the fucking like half the balls. The bottom of it's flat. And I go out the window. And as soon as I do, he sees it out of the corner of my eyes and he goes, God damn. Don't you ever sneak up on me like that. And anyways, he says, what are you doing it for? And I said, you asked for it. You said, where's it at? And he said, I ain't touching that motherfucker. I don't know where it came from. Get a rag or a coat or something. Put something on a blanket. So we found a bunch of shit and got it. And he's like, come on. And he literally popped my door and unlocked it and made me take it and put it in the trunk of his patrol car. And when I put it in the trunk of his patrol car, his car is facing like this, I'm at the back and it's facing straight ahead. And I lay the dick in line with it. And when I lay the dick down, he's like, he said, damn it, don't lay it like that. He said, I go around a turn, it'll sound like I'm holding a fucking trunk load full of bowling balls. Lay it this way. And he makes me turn it sideways and put it back up against the it's not a tailgate, I guess, the back of the trunk. And then he closes the lid and he tells us not to be in any more trouble and asks us how far you guys going before you get home. And John starts to say something. And Billy at the same time, they're like talking. I didn't say anything. Talking over, and he's like, just go straight there. He didn't even let him finish. He gets back in his car and fucking leaves. He's back in his car and fucking leaves. That was the monster cock of Mississippi, I guess. I don't know what to call that story. But we had so much fun with that big old dick. Shaking the people and shit. I thought for sure we was all going to jail, but he just took it. I don't know what the fuck he did with it. I guess he put it in evidence locker. Now, you have to admit, that was a pretty good clip. I don't know which one you watched because this is the outro for all of them, but they're all good. But if you have more time, you can check out the full stream over on Cold Beer Condemned. Cold Beer Condemned, find us everywhere else on Cold Beer Confessional. Or click one of these other clips. Maybe you're interested in this one, maybe that one. Maybe you got more time and you can watch a longer stream. Maybe you're just here for the clips. Either way, click another video, click the like button, subscribe, and share, and hang around with us for a while. I appreciate it.